Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Chief Customer Officer Human Duct Tape Show. Today, oh my gosh, what an honor. We have Horst Schulze with us, who started and brought the Ritz-Carlton and all that it stands for into all of our lives, as well as the Capella Hotel Group. Hello, Horst. So good to have you with us.
Hi, Jane. How are you?
All of us are, the reason we get to have businesses is because there's this human being, this customer at the end of our decision, but yet we sometimes forget that. What are the important things you want people to know?
So, well, to maybe tell you the beginning of Ritz-Carlton. The beginning of Ritz-Carlton was driven by a vision, which is leadership. The vision was, mind you, I had a great job at Hyatt. I was a vice president of food and beverage operations for the United States. I had golden handcuffs. I have everything you wanted in my career. I worked with great people for a great company. When somebody offered me a job to come to Atlanta and start a new company, they had two hotels in construction. They said, you will be in charge of operations for that new company.
And what year was that, Horst?
That was 1982.
Okay.
And I said, not interested, but they kept on calling me, and I started to imagine what I would do if I would join this company. And said, well, if I would join the company, I would go above the accepted brands today and create the best hotel company in the world. And that dream started to control me. And they called again, and I accepted an interview, accepted a job. And in December 82, I drove out of Chicago by the corporate headquarters of Hyatt with tears in my eyes, and drove to Atlanta. And a little over a year later, we opened our first hotel. In the meantime, we were able to buy the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Boston, sorry, not company, which had the name. We closed that hotel for renovation, and the first Ritz-Carlton we opened was the Ritz-Carlton Buckhead in Atlanta. Now, what was the thought? I hired people to join me in creating the finest hotel company in the world. Now they were laughing. They said, we don't even have a hotel yet. He said, yeah, but the vision is this. That is the vision. We are going to create the finest hotel company in the world. And so the question, of course, how do you make it the finest? By being to the customer, to our market segment, more sufficient than anybody else. With other words, we offer our product superior to the competition in the minds of the customer, not in our minds, but in the minds of the customer. And for that, we had to know what the customer wants. If I want to be more sufficient to my customer base, I have to know what the customer wants and give them what they want more sufficiently than the competition.
So how did you go about doing that?
Major studies. We bought several major surveys of customer service, top market customer service. We bought them. We made surveys. We looked at it. We listened, not to ourselves, but then to customer, and said, all right, we're going to create processes behind their expectation. Mind you, and here's the fascinating thing. I mean, it's totally fascinating to me at the time. Once we made several studies of the expectation of the customers, it became clear that in the subconscious expectation of the customer, they want the same thing no matter what they buy. If it's a hotel stay or a car or a bottle of water. And think about it. What do you expect when you buy a bottle of water? You want three things. You want, the number one thing is that the product is defect-free. Bottle of water, you don't want anything to swim in there, do you?
No.
Number two, what you wanted when you wanted, timeliness. Became very clear. And number three, you want the people who give it to you to be nice to you. And guess what? The greatest driver of customer satisfaction is the being nice. Whoa, because the defect-free bottle of water is expected. But you can't be surprised if the people who sell it to you are particularly nice to you.
Or care
Wow.
about you, right?
So we said, okay, we have to process all this. We have to process that we work defect-free, that the key works, that the toilet flushes, and all those things. We have to work on our timeliness, that you don't have to wait for too long and check in and so on, and when you order room service or whatever. And number 3, we have to process and make sure that we're nice. So now we knew the customer. Now we dug in deeper. What do they mean with being nice? What do they mean? And so we determined all that, and then created processes behind it.
So how did you determine what being nice was?
Well, that is the interesting. We work with all kinds of people, including behavioral analysts, and say, what do people really expect? How do we create respect in people? What do they really expect of being nice? If we learn, for example, crazy things, that a human being makes a decision about another human being or about another business, when they come in human terms, when they come within 10 feet of them, not before, not after. In that instant, they make a decision. So we taught our people that within 9 to 10 feet, no matter what you're doing, you look the guest in the eye and say, good morning, welcome. We learned that if you say hi, you're not lifting them up. You're saying, I'm on your level, but you want to lift them up instead of saying hi. Eliminate the word hi. Say good morning, welcome, sir, welcome, ma'am, good morning. And bang, 9 feet. So
and I love, excuse me, just for a second. I love the specificity of that. Within 9 to 10 feet, and say good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, welcome,
good afternoon.
Whatever.
That's right. That's
a great welcome, and don't say guys, folks, dudes, or something like that. Say sir, ma'am, lady, gentlemen. With other words, within 9 feet, you're lifting them up and say to them, you're important. I want to convince you with my welcome to want to come back if you come back to another hotel here. See, so real processing everything. Well, that became, so we then broke it down into 20, then we said, all right, what will make us superior to the competition further? And we, by studying, by knowing, by listening, and so on, we decided on 20 points, 20 things that will make us better, including the hello and so on. And so now we created a selection process. Now we come to the employee. Instead of hiring, we had to move to a selection process because we had to have employees with the attitude and the talent of doing that. So we created, instead of hiring, we started select. We used an outside company. I explained it in the book pretty carefully. To select, we profiled every job category and selected against that job category. Now we had the expectation, and now we had the people selected, and of course, the proper training, the proper orientation, the proper everything to actually be able to do what we had to do.